This is the championship game. The kickoff team is out there, and here we go. A conference championship on the line right now. They'll return it from inside the 5. So the Ohio State Buckeyes offense comes onto the field for the first time today. And it comes down to this. After a brutal regular season schedule, all these teams have poured into it, and now one final showdown. One of these teams walks off this field tonight as conference champions.
Well, if you talk to these coaches, and especially the players, Chris, you get the sense that this game means a lot. Opportunity to become conference champs, and also you win this game, who knows how it can impact you that next step into the postseason. So let's see who the better team is and who's going to become the conference champ.
The freshman brings him down quickly. Big moment early in this championship game. Third down coming up. Dropping back. He's going to throw for the first down. Finds a man downfield. That's a big gain to the right. Moves his way for a first down to the 35. The Buckeyes come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. They keep him guessing with a run. Breaks into open space. Now here he goes. Inside the 12, an explosive play puts him in great scoring position. Buckeyes hustle to the line to run the hurry up. On first down, they'll keep their running game churning. Slams right into a wall. They got him for a loss. Been a really solid drive, and now a challenge here coming up on 2nd and 13. Throwing up play action. Pass ball is incomplete. There was a lot of contact. No penalty. Brings up third down. Not going to be easy here. Backed up a long way to go for a first down. They're going to throw it on 3rd and very long. And it's incomplete. He was looking for the end zone. So the coach will decide to settle for 3 points here. Out comes the field goal unit. And that kick right down the middle. Can't hit it any better than that. It breaks the scoreless tie here. Makes it 3-0.
Now, I was watching this guy in pregame. He's got a strong leg. Not surprised here he's able to put 3 points up here for the offense.
Following the field goal, the kickoff team is out there now. Return starts from inside the 5. To be tackled at the 17. Strong job by the coverage team. So the Washington Huskies offense out there for their first possession. Let's check out the impact players in this game. They're guys that are going to have to step up and deliver. The teammates look to them. Coaches are counting on them today.
Chris, I think these are the guys that show the most consistency, and I think that's why we're showcasing them. And they're going to have to be able to step up and not only make plays, I think provide the leadership. Coaches told us all week that these are the guys that really are unique within this program, and hopefully they play well today.
Pass caught. 2nd down now. Handoff here from the shotgun. Great cut there. Tough running there, but not quite enough for a first down. One of those critical 3rd down plays coming up. Looking to throw. It's Weaver. It's an out route. The catch made. And it's out of bounds after a decent gain. This line getting set up. It's a first down play. Off the play fake. Looking to throw. Oh, the pass rush gets home.
The defender did not bite on the fake at all. They were in pass rush mode the entire time.
This offense faces a 2nd and 15. The O-line needs to regroup. There's the handoff. Minimal gain brought down short of the marker. So the offense getting set. This is not where you want to be against this defense. 3rd and long. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Looking right. This one caught. Defense reacts quickly. A very short gain on the play. And the Huskies will bring their punt team onto the field. It's just the first punt for this offense tonight. The fair catch made at the 30-yard line. Here comes the Buckeye offense onto the field. They've got the lead, but had to settle for a field goal last time out. They'd love to find the end zone here. Makes a nice move there. Tackle made, but a big play all the way to the 48. The Buckeyes will come to the line to crank up the tempo.
Okay, here comes the hurry up. This is what they love to do. They get a big gain on the ground, hurry up into position, and go right back at that defense again.
And he's brought down after a big first down gain. It's second and short. Maybe an opportunity, Kirk, to take a shot here. He decides to keep it here. Nowhere to run on that play. It got him in the backfield. It's a loss of a yard. Offense needing to keep this drive alive. It's a third down play. And the quarterback keeps it here. The ball is loose. Looks like the defense has it for a takeaway.
What a great job by this defense at stringing out that option and making the quarterback hesitant on whether to keep or to pitch. And because he was hesitant and allowed the defense to get to him to knock that ball loose.
And the Huskies offense is back out on the field. The last drive, they came up empty, had to kick it away. Can they come up with something here? On first down, it's play action. Gets the ball up as he's hit, but it's incomplete. A misfire on first down makes it 2nd and 10 from the 33. Catch made on the right side. And he's tackled for a loss after the catch. The defense all over that one. They come to the line, a long way to go for the first down, but needing this crucial conversion right now. Looking for a man deep on the right side. Caught right near the sideline for a big gain. Out of bounds, but not before a huge gain. Offense gets a fresh set of downs.
You know, we've seen this guy make a lot of plays, but one of the things that really stands out to me is his desire to want to come down with the ball. Here, the ball is deflected. Instead of giving up on the play, he still has that desire to come up with the catch to help his quarterback out.
One huge play has changed the drive. Now let's see if this offense can cash in this red zone opportunity. Quarterback keeps the football. The pickup is 7 yards. Now it's 2nd and 3. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw it. Takes the grab. Can he get there? Tackled at the 5-yard line. Now it's 1st and goal right there. The Huskies pick up enough for a first down. And the wideout goes in motion. Quick pass. Here comes a jet sweep. Able to fight for a decent gain here in that running play. That's 2nd down and goal now for this offense. And they're trying to punch it in here. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Huskies.
Well, that's an example right there of what vision and patience and ability can do for running back. He was on a mission to get into the end zone, and really, he made it look easy.
And now the try here for the extra point. Extra point makes the lead 4. Kickoff team out there, they are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. He's going to return it from near the goal line. And he's tackled at the 21. That's where the drive will start. Offense out there to start a new drive from the 21. On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. Grab down the middle. It's Turner. Defense surrounds him. Just a short gain on that completion. Short completion there. 2nd down coming up. He'll hand it off. They'll bring him down right at the 30-yard line. So, Kirk, it's Washington in front. Let's check out the stats now for the opening period.
Washington 7, Ohio State 3.
time for some plot twists here as we begin the second quarter. First play of the quarter is a crucial one. Offense trying to convert this third down. Trying to convert with a sneak. He is stuffed at the line. It's going to bring up fourth down. The Buckeyes will line up to punt it away. And the fair catch signaled for and taken. And the Washington offense heads back out on the field. They scored a touchdown in their last possession. Let's see if this defense can make adjustments and prevent that this time. There's a loss after the completion. That's a good play by the defense. After the first down loss, it's second and long from the 22. Delayed handoff. He's wrapped up nicely there by the freshman. Offense facing a third and long from the 25. What's the call going to be? To the air. It's Weaver. Lets it go quickly. But they don't connect. It's incomplete. And it brings up fourth down. And the Huskies will have to punt this one away. They kick it away for the second time. And the return man decides to signal fair catch. Offense makes its way on the field, ready to start the drive. Here's the second down play. And the same runner's got it again. They bring him down, but that's a solid gain on the play. First and 10 play coming up. And now the handoff. Great swings at the 40. He made the tackle, but that's a great pickup on the ground. Buckeyes come up to the line in a hurry.
Well, it's a beautiful run here for the first down, really living up to that reputation of the great backs that they've had over the years. Think about Archie Griffin and Eddie George, Ezekiel Elliott, J.K. Dobbins, just so many great backs, and we're seeing another one right here.
Offense getting set, second down play here. And they'll run it out of the shotgun. The defense all over it. They stop him right at the line. So now it's third and short from the plus 25. They're in field goal range. Let's see what the call is. They're thinking about touchdown, of course. He shreds the tackle. He's brought down, but that strong stiff arm earned him the first down. This offense trying to get going. He's put together a positive drive here in the second quarter. Play action here on first down. He cannot escape. It's a sack.
I like the call here, but you can't run long, developing play-action passes like that if the offensive line is not going to give the quarterback time to throw.
This offense faces a second and 15. The O-line needs to regroup. He's looking to throw. Receiver looks it in. It's complete. They stop the receiver, but that's a solid gain on that play. The offense eager to keep this drive going, but facing a third and long from the 20 now. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. And the pass is incomplete just across the goal line. So they're short on fourth down, and the coach decides to trot out the field goal team. The kick is good. He knocked it right down the middle.
Snap, the hold, the kick, everything there perfect to put 3 points up here for the offense.
So after the field goal, the kicker out there again to boot it away. And here's the return from inside the 5. He'll be tackled at the 18. That's good coverage there. And the Washington offense is back out on the field now. They had to punt the ball last time. Now they're looking to add points, build on this lead. Downfield shot falls incomplete. Couldn't quite connect there. Important second down play coming up. Quick throw. That's an RPO caught on the left side.
I love the call here with the wide receiver screen. Where's he going to go? Blockers do not do their job and open up any running lanes at all.
Quarterback delivers complete to the right side. The defense stops him short of the marker, so it's fourth down coming up. And they'll kick it away here. And here's was the fair catch by the return man. Offense back out there trying to get something going. Off the play fake on first down. Physical defending. That one falls incomplete. Brings up second down. 2nd and 10 following the incompletion from the 37. Offense will keep it on the ground here. They've got it in the backfield. Nowhere to run. They'll lose a yard on the play. Offense been in reverse here. Now a long way to go to convert this third down. Comes up with the catch. Defense wraps him up after the catch, but he's just short of the first down. The Buckeyes will line up to kick it away when he comes for his second punt of the game. And he lets it land, and it'll just bounce out of bounds. And the Washington offense retakes the field here. Last time was a quick 3 and out. Can they get a drive going this time? Caught quickly. To get him down quickly, not much of a gain on that completion. What's the play call here on second down for this offense? Off an RPO, the quarterback looks to his right. And the defense swarms, not much of a gain on that completion. It's the 2-minute timeout. Nice to have a close game here as we approach the half. Important third down play coming up. Looking to pass. It's Weaver. Quick throw. Catch made on the out route. And he's tackled just short of that first down marker. Good job by the defense. The Huskies will line up to boot it away. He's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And the returner is tackled by this punt coverage team. First down, looking to throw the football. Pulls it in. It's Jones. Defense reacts quickly. A very short gain on the play. They'll crank up the tempo here on second down. The time is running out. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun, looking for a receiver. And it's hauled in. Catch made way downfield. They finally make the tackle, but the defense gashed by that big gainer.
What a huge play for this offense as this half is coming to a close. Here's where you've got to get a little greedy because what seemed like a drive where you're happy to maybe come up with 3 points, now you've got a real shot to maybe put the ball in the end zone.
The complexion of this drive suddenly changing. One massive play, and they're closing in on the red zone now with the first down. Off the play fake, looking to throw on first down. Catch is made down the middle. Timeout is called by the defense. That's their first of the half.
Well, it's a game of matchups. Always has been and it always will be, especially on the perimeter. And the quarterback believes his guy is better than their guy.
Looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State. They count the drive with 6 points. That's just nice execution. Quarterback and receiver perfectly in sync that time.
Yeah, you can see why route running is one of the most underrated attributes of a receiver. It's easy to get caught up on their ability to catch or their vertical or their speed, but nothing substitutes for someone who can create separation like this before the ball is even thrown.
Make the extra point and go up 6. Out there to kick it away. And he takes this from inside the 5. He'll be tackled at the 18. That's good coverage there. Offense out there for the first play of this drive from the 18. To throw, it's Weaver. Makes a quick catch. Tackle made on the play at the 29-yard line. And a timeout is called to talk strategy. Close game here as we approach halftime. And we're going to throw now on first down. And it's incomplete. Comes up a little short on that throw. Second down after the incompletion. They snap it. Quarterback looking to throw the ball. Delivers from the pocket, complete over the middle. They crank up the tempo here for this important third down play. Back, looking to throw for the first down. receiver makes the grab. The offense calls a timeout here. That's their third and final of the half. Washington getting set for the 1st and 10 now. Here's the snap, looking to throw. It's a wide receiver screen. Defense surrounds him, just a short gain on that completion. They'll crank up the tempo here with the clock ticking down. 2nd down. Quarterback drops back. We're going to test the secondary. Brought down for a loss after the completion. Not what they were looking for. Minnows going to wrap up the first half here. Let's kick it now to Kevin Connors for our halftime update.
Chris, a Big Ten championship game that's already had its share of stirring moments. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big fat W. And with that, let's send it back to Chris and Kirk and the exciting conclusion of the Big Ten Championship.
The Buckeyes will kick this away to start the second half. And the kickoff will be a return. Will be tackled at the 17. Strong job by the coverage team. And the Huskies offense is back out on the field. The running game's really been held in check so far. Let's see if they can get it going or if they choose to pass and try to cut into this lead. Tackle made on the play at the 29-yard line. Big guys up front line up. It's 1st down. Thrown quickly, caught in the right flat. To get him down quickly, not much of a gain on that completion. Now it's 2nd down here. Back to throw. It's Weaver. Finds his man. The defense grabs him after the completion. He's just short of a 1st down. They've punted 4 times already on the verge of a 5th. They can't convert this 3rd down.
Well, well, well. The old quarterback sneak. Well, whatever you got to do to keep this drive moving. We've seen them convert in different ways on this drive, and that sneak will keep this defense guessing when they're in short yardage coming up in the future.
They'll run it. Hand it off to the running back. It's S the middle to get stuffed. That run goes nowhere. 2nd down after that run on the previous play. And the quarterback looking to make a play through the air. Finds an open target on the left side. Ends out of bounds after gaining decent yardage. Important 3rd down play coming up after that completion. They'll try to move the chains here on the ground. 0 running room. Stop right at the line of scrimmage. And the Huskies will bring their punt team on the field now. On to kick now for the 5th time tonight. And he boots it out of bounds. Not very long. That punt heading out of bounds, so there'll be no return here. Here comes the powerful Buckeye offense back onto the field. He hands it off from the gun. He's got the 1st and still going. They make the stop, but not before a solid gain that time. Buckeyes will hustle to the line to crank the tempo.
Boy, is this tough to deal with for this defense. Not only do you give up a big game, but look at this. They're already at the line of scrimmage, about to snap the ball again.
Not much on that play, brought down short. Quarterback looking to throw it on 2nd down. That's caught. It's Jones. He's tackled quickly, but the yardage is good enough for the 1st down. A new set of downs after that completion. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. Goes to his right side there for the completion. Tackled quickly after the catch. He'll be short of the marker. Quarterback looking to pass here on 2nd down. Caught over the middle. It's Turner. And they tackle him, but not before he picks up the 1st. A new set of downs after that completion. Back to throw again. Makes the grab. It's Jones. And the defense swarms. Not much of a gain on that completion. 2nd down play coming up. And the receiver snags it. It's complete. Defense reacts quickly. A very short gain on the play. Critical moment of this conference championship. 3rd and short on the 7th play of the drive. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. Caught near the sticks. It's Jones. Oh, and he hits out of bounds after a really nice gain there. Buckeyes with 1st and 10 here. Looking to throw it from the red zone. And it's incomplete. The defender arrived the same time as the football. And now it's 2nd down. Now play number 9 on this drive. From the shotgun, an inside handoff. And brought down at the line with that big defensive tackle. Dropping back. They're going to throw for the first down. Looking for 6. And he makes the catch. Touchdown, Buckeyes. Conference championship pressure. They just grind away. Beautiful execution on that methodical drive.
Man, I can't think of a better stage than a conference championship to put together a drive like that. Moving the sticks, executing along the way, avoiding any turnover potential, and coming up with a touchdown. Great job.
So they'll try to add to the lead now with a PAT. PAT puts him up 13 now. So after putting up the touchdown, the kickoff team is out there to boot it away. Fields it just outside the goal line. Solid job by the coverage team. They bring him down at the 16. And the Washington offense heads back out on the field. Last time they were forced to punt it away. Can they get points out of this possession? Quarterback still with the football. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. Running play goes backwards, makes it 2nd down and 12 now. Looking to throw. It's Weaver. Bringing pressure. Using his legs on the scramble. He'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. New set it down to the offense. 1st and 10. They'll try the ground game here with the running back. And the runner brought down right at the 38-yard line. 2nd down after that previous play. Now they'll switch it up, looking to throw the ball here. A deep shot to the right. And it's caught way downfield inside the 35. They finally make the tackle all the way down to the 32.
What a gain here. Big play for this offense. The quarterback and receiver just seem to be in sync. Tough on that corner to try to make a play on that ball.
Looking to throw it on 1st down. Here's an easy completion to the back out of the backfield. But the play loses yardage. Very tough 2nd down coming up now. Offense moving receivers around now before the snap. The pass rush closing in. The pass is incomplete. A lot of contact on the play, and here comes a late flag.
Pass interference. Defense.
Defender flagged for being a little too aggressive. The offense gets a 15-yard penalty. Offense coming to the line. They might have a chance for a couple more plays before we reach the end of the quarter. Again, coming out of the RPO, and it's complete. They bring him down after a short gain there. Well, Kurt, Ohio State has the lead here after 1. We've reached the end of 3. Time is running out to cut into the lead. Let's take a look at the game sets before we move on. One quarter to go. Let's see if this sets up as a classic finish. Offense getting set for a 2nd down here to begin the quarter. They're going to run the option. They try the middle, but gain nothing on that play. Critical moment of this conference championship. 3rd and short on the 7th play of the drive. A quick throw out left, complete. They go backwards on that 3rd down completion. Sets up a 4th down. The coach chooses to go for a field goal attempt here. Makes it look easy.
Oh, Chris, it's a nice kick here to polish off that drive with at least 3 points up on the board.
They come come away with 3 points on the drive, and now the kickoff team will boot it away. Return begins inside the 10. Oh, he's got a crease here. Look out. And he'll be tackled after a solid effort on that return. And the Ohio State offense comes back onto the field. It's a quarterback keeper. They've got him down out near the 40. A gain makes it 2nd and medium. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun. Throws it to the right. Oh, and it's almost picked off. A chance for their first interception today. Going to set up 3rd down. Fakes the handoff. Looking to throw. Quick completion to the tight end. Tackle, but 1st down. Looks like a man is down on the field after the last play, so we'll take a timeout. The Buckeyes starting a new series here on 1st and 10. Quarterback pulls the ball. It's a keeper. The gain is 3. Now it's 2nd down and 7. Quarterback will throw it off the run pass option. And they wrap it up after the completion just short of the 1st down marker. It's 3rd down for the offense. Looking to pick up the 1st down through the air. The receiver grabs it. And they convert on 3rd down. Move the ball to the 36. Off the play fake, looking to throw. Defense is coming after him. Oh, downfield catch made on the left side. Tackle quickly at the 10, but now the offense really threatening to score. Here's the handoff. Ball carrier brought down at the 4. Offense in great scoring position here. So down here in the red zone, every yard tough to find. Here is a crucial play coming up. Takes the handoff again. Going absolutely nowhere. That'll be a loss on the play. Crucial 3rd down coming up in the red zone. Can they keep the drive going, or will they have to settle for 3? Drops back, looking to throw for it on 3rd down. Near the goal line. And he scores. Touchdown, Ohio State. Conference championship on the line. This quarterback told us, this is my time to shine. This is my stage currently, and he is delivering.
Well, anytime you see a performance like this out of a quarterback, it's like the stars are in alignment. The quarterback's doing his job. The play caller is seeing the defense and putting him in a position to have success. And let's not forget the line and the receivers, the job that they're doing as well. It's a dream performance so far by this quarterback.
And the extra point up and good makes it a 3-score game, up 17 here in the 4th. Kickoff team out there, they are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. He'll bring it out from his end zone. And the coverage team gets the returner to the ground. And the Washington offense is back out on the field now. It's hard to win these games just kicking field goals. They need to find the end zone here, some urgency. Here's a screen pass to the running back. Defense drops him for a loss. Tougher 2nd down on the way. Looking downfield, it's Weaver. It's a screen pass complete to the running back. That play is blown up. Defense makes the tackle in the backfield. Well, a serious challenge for this offense. You don't want to be in 3rd and long inside your own 20. How much of a risk? Looking for a man deep down the left side. And it's hauled in way downfield. They finally bring him down, but what an explosive play that time.
This is a big conversion by this offense. They're down now in the 2nd half. Probably limited opportunities at this point in the game. Every chance you get your hands on the ball, you need points. They keep this drive alive right here.
So forget about the possible safety. Suddenly it's 1st and 10 in plus territory. Looking to throw yet again. Delivers quickly to the left side. It's dropped. Would have been a big play, but he could not hold on. Incomplete. Second down coming up. Drops back from the shotgun, looking for an open man. Looking for the tight end, and it's caught. Defense makes the stop very close to a first down. So the offense faces third and short from the plus 26. Might be 4-down territory, but let's see what the call. Looking downfield near the end zone. Oh, and it's batted down by the defense. Great play to deny a touchdown. Down late, they'll keep the offense on the field trying to chip away at this lead. Here we go on fourth down. Fights through a tackle. And the runner steps out of bounds, but does have enough yardage to pick up the first down. Snapping it from the red zone now, looking to throw. It's incomplete. They waited all game for a chance to intercept one. Instead, it's second down. Back to pass. It's Weaver. And this time it's complete. Tackle at the 6-yard line after the completion. Offense really threatening now. The Huskies come to the line to run the hurry-up. From the shotgun, he's probing the secondary. That one falls incomplete. Good defensive play. Brings up second down. Nothing on first down, so now it's second and goal from the 6. Trying for the end zone, running it right up the gut. Stop right there at the line. No gain. They break the huddle on third and goal. Field goal doesn't do much good here. Out of the gun now on third down. Launching one to the end zone. Looking for a touchdown, but it's incomplete. Field goal here doesn't help the cause. They're going to go for the touchdown here on fourth down. There's the snap. They'll set up to throw. Looking to the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Washington.
Well, that's a thing of beauty right there. Good job all around. Offensive line gave the quarterback enough time. Quarterback puts it right on the money. And with this receiver running a route like this, makes it pretty simple. All you had to do was get his head turned around, catch that football. He's already in the end zone for the touchdown.
Now the try here for the extra point. PAT up and good to get a little bit closer. I believe they're lining up to attempt an onside kick.
27.
On the hands team all over that to make the recovery. Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense back on the field. Passing game was so effective in last possession, right down for a touchdown. We'll see if the defense can make adjustments. Catch made down the left side, an explosive play. Now a timeout taken by the defense, trying to preserve as much clock as possible for their offense. Fresh set of downs for the offense, first down. Here's the snap. Quarterback looking to throw. That's reeled in. It's Jones. And now it's the defense that calls timeout here, trying to get organized and preserve as much clock as possible. Buckeyes looking to cash in this red zone trip. On 1st and 10, looking to throw. Caught in the backfield. It's Turner. Now a timeout taken by the defense, trying to preserve as much clock as possible for their offense. Offense getting set up. Here's second down. Grinding away on the ground. And the senior able to make the stop after a short gain. Not going to be easy here. Backed up a long way to go for a first down. Now in third and very long, looking to throw. And they trap him for a sack.
Great call here going with that nickel defense, giving you more speed on the field on that third down and long. Nowhere to go. Gave the defensive line plenty of time to come up with that sack. Now it's fourth down and long.
So on fourth down, out trots the place kicker in a very big spot here. Coach electing to go for a field goal attempt. The attempt from 47 yards. And he's got it from 47 yards away, showing off the deep range. Swifter coming away with 3 in that drive. The kickoff team is out. Fields it inside the 5-yard line. Makes it to the 16. That's good coverage there. And for the first play of the drive, they'll set up at the 16. Dropping back, it's Weaver. And it's incomplete, just out of reach. Too much on that throw. That play makes it 2nd and 10. Looking for a man. Looks to his left and makes the completion. And he's shoved out of bounds with the defense short of the first down marker. Drops back, needing a 3rd down completion here. Here's a quick screen to the receiver. The defense stops him just short of the marker. That'll bring up 4th down. Looking to throw it again. Flips it to the running back, but he's got work to do. No, he didn't get there. Tackled short of the marker. That is a crushing play as they try to cut in to this lead. And with this one wrapped up, the quarterback will just take a knee. It's always a special year when after all the work you put in, you can call yourselves champions